Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Gerse and today I'm bringing you a little spill build video here in the Aloft world. I'm so excited to build this tower because I really wanted to dive in and how deeply and how much we can do in the world of Aloft. And I've been seeing so many people building beautiful things in this world, and one of the beautiful things that I got inspired is for one of our beautiful friend in my community named KayKay, and she did this beautiful speed build video of her own tower, bridge, and all of that. And that got me thinking I wanted to do something because that really inspired me. So I went online, I started looking at a bunch of towers, looking at pictures, looking at reference, and I was like, you know what? I have an idea. Now, one of the things that I did different, I didn't want to do a round tower. I didn't want to use the round pieces. I wanted to have this edge work, and I wanted to be a little more like brutal, no, not brutal, but I just wanted to be more emphasis into the tower, and I wanted to have these sharp edges, so when I put like the beams in those corners, it will really kind of make it really stand out. So one of the first thing that I was trying to do is make a little platform first. Now, one of the reasons I went wood because I couldn't make it work with the stone for some reason. It kept blending into the ground, it wasn't not coming, and it was kind of throwing me off. So once I saw the pattern right over here that I wanted to create in the floor, as you can see with the wood, now I was gonna do and stretch it out with the stone in the back. And it was really easy then to kind of get this together, because once I figure out this is the shape I want the tower, now I just needed to expand it and make it bigger, and that's what you're seeing here. So I'm going into the manual mode here, and I'm putting it kind of halfway. That way the two pieces are meeting like right in the middle, and that's how I started the process. Now I think now I can kind of start this process without having to do the whole wood thing in the middle, because I can just put two pieces and then put something in the middle and then figure it out from there. But either way, whatever way and shape or form you find this, you may make it work. Now the other thing is, you see those little pieces that are left over. I wanted to use some of the triangle pieces right over here to kind of make it fit. Now this could be tricky depending on what you're trying to do. As you can see over here, this is what I'm doing over here. And then what I did, if you don't want the tower to expand more, then you don't have to use those pieces. You can try to make it and make a shape depending how you can curve it. But what I decided, that is okay. I want the tower to be bigger anyway, so I did the half pieces off the floor, and that make the shape that I needed to. And now we got this big platform. Now the tower can be as big as you want, you know, especially the width. So it's gonna be up to you in your area, and the tower can go as tall as you want. It's gonna be up to you. Now I wanted to do this tower in two ways. I wanted to have a middle and then another higher tier. Now the first part, I wanted to match the cliff on the side, because I wanted to do another bridge that is gonna go from the tower door in the top into that other cliff, because that is gonna lead us to our airship that has crash landed. So that is part of it. So now you can go as high as you want, don't forget it, or as low as you want, you know. So it's gonna be up to you. But as you can see right here, I'm doing this section, and as you can see, I gotta use half walls too here because of what we did with the little experiment with the triangle piece. So again, all of this is always trials and error. We always try to do our best and try to get it. Now the way that I made this work the best is by going manual, because the way the automation doesn't want to clip in a specific way. So if you go manual, you can make it work really nice. So as you make your first round base foundation, you see how we're gonna have like these edges in the actual build, and that is something that I really wanted. So I'm making sure that the first level is gonna reach right here on the cliff. And once I knew we got the right height, now we're gonna pour this in here in the close it up, because we don't have anything on the inside in the tower. Now I could change my mind eventually and do something, another door, and we can use that space in there, but for right now it's like empty. So it's empty, there's nothing in there at this very moment. Now something that I knew I wanted to do, I knew I want the bridge eventually that is gonna go through that door, right? And I wanted to lead that direction. But a couple of these things changes eventually, you know, depending. So where you want to face the tower, when you want to face the other bridge, if you see the thumbnail, it's going to be up to you depending on your island, depending what the direction that you want it to go. But as you can see over here, now I'm trying to shape this thing in. Again, you gotta use sometimes the little half wall and the full wall to actually go around and have the right area. And one of the best ways that I needed to know is to come back. Now, as you can see in the back, it wasn't working correctly. I messed up somewhere, and all this work that I'm doing, I'm gonna have to redo. So sometimes I do leave some stuff like this so you can see easy mistakes that happens, and you can edit that out and just kind of redo it. Again, there was a lot of editing in this video because it was a lot of work, a lot of try and error just to get this idea going. But we did end up getting it, right? We did end up getting it. But as you can see now, again, now this is the second portion of the tower. Now this inside the tower, we are gonna have stairs. We are gonna go up, and we're gonna go up. Like over here is when I noticed, like, wait a minute, this is wrong. What's going on in the back here? We need to fix it. Because basically what I forgot is to do those half wall and put them a little diagonal and then put the middle. So once I figured that out, there we go. Also, we kind of adding the door, because eventually I do want to make a bridge that we actually change the door and put it somewhere else, so it's a little more diagonal towards the cliff side. Now, again, the second part of the tower, you can go as high as you want. It's really going to be up to you, depending on your island, depending on your idea, what exactly that you want to do. But again, I went identically exactly the same height that I went on the bottom. I went on the top. It kind of made it feel proportional on both sides. So if you decide to go so high on the bottom, I almost would recommend on the top to go the same height. I think it will keep everything in a really good perspective and going. So as you can see, I added the roof on the top and go on the top, and then we close out all the walls. So one of the things that you don't see, so the video is not so long, is when I'm building all the walls, right? We don't want to see that, you know. I'm saving you a little bit of time here. Now, one of the ideas I wanted is have a little spiral staircase going here. I find the spiral staircase a little bit tricky to get it just right and to go and make it to the center or to the area that you want. So it may take you a couple trial and error, but don't give up. It took me quite a bit, trust me. I edited it out, but it took me quite a bit to get the right motion to go. So you go all the way up the top and you gotta delete it all down, and you go all the way up and delete it all the way down until you get it into the right curve that you want. Now, something that I wanted here is we're gonna have a halfway point. This halfway point is gonna be the extended that is gonna lead us to this walkway bridge that is gonna look over the cliff. So I really like that idea. I saw a lot of towers online that had this aspect of that, and many people were building it, and I was like, you know what, I really like that. So we want to add that into this build as well. So as you can see, we making the platform, and the platform on the inside is again, it's gonna take you trials and error, especially depending on the stairs and how much you want. I really want to cover part of the space. You want to put a little bit of railing. You want to make it feel like it's all good in the curve. So once you get that, you know, use the different pieces depending on how you started. Not all the pieces are the correct one. I just kind of fill the space. That's the great thing about this game, that you can clip things in. So that works really well. And then as you can over here, we finally made it to the top. So I started adding the second step after we get to the halfway point. We kept going with the circle, and then we working on the platform. And as you can see, I had to delete it again so I can get the right curve one more time. And what I needed to do here is kind of move it a little bit more over there. Watch, not there. I think we're trying it again. It's not gonna work. We have to leave like a little space because it's not ending like in the center like where I want it. It's ending too much to the edge. So we're gonna delete it. And what I decided to do is leave a space, and then we do a little platform that goes in. It actually worked in the favor because it made the second flooring a little bit better. And as you can see, that is kind of what we're doing here. We're going an extended side over there, and now we're having the railway. All of this works better. We can cover the rest with the little blocks right over here. That works great. And now everything should be kind of working better. And even though the top may not fall exactly in the middle, it's okay. I think everything is looking better. We have a little break, and as you can see, we can just work around this area, and it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. That, you know, things like this happens all the time, and you just gotta make the best you can. So now what we do is cover all the top, make the roofing, just make a seal, and then you are last step closer to getting this initial part of the tower done. Now, the top of the tower, something that I really wanted, because in this game we can glide. We have a glider, right? We can glide. We can fly in the air. And something that I was thinking of, it'd be great to have a place where the people that are flying are coming in and they're gonna land in here, you know, and then you can tweak and all of that. And that idea kept evolving, and I was like, you know what? It'd be really great to have this top of the tower, where the people that are gliding, if you're doing multiplayer, everybody comes in and lands in here. You got your all your stuff for your glider and everything, and everything is just up there. Make it really nice, make these big openings, and it just, people can just fly in and out, really great way. And I really like the idea, and that's how everything started evolving and pushing this idea. We're putting some railings over here, same thing on the bottom. We're gonna put it on the top just to make it feel really nice. And then now we're gonna start doing the extended part when it comes to this idea here. Again, in some areas, you're gonna see that we do like a little half wall, and then we do have to do the full wall, and then after that, we're gonna do the little triangle. Now, the little triangles here, as you can see, we're gonna put it in a specific way. They're gonna kind of clip. And the great thing about that is gonna give you like this little design, pointy design area. I really like it. If you can make it better, again, this kind of stuff, it was a lot of trial and error just to get it just right with the pieces and get the combination and the idea. If you figure out a better way, you know, you let me know down below. But I kind of like the way I did this here. I think now that, you know, rewatching the video, seeing all the steps, there's things I'm like, oh man, I think I could have done that better. Why did that has half wall, but the other side doesn't have that? You know, there's little things like that that I don't know why it came out the way it came out. It's one of those things. Over here, I was trying to see if I can fill up these gaps, but they're not gonna work great. So what I decided at the end, after all these little trials, like, you know what, I'm gonna leave him, and I'm gonna leave him as a little design aspect of the tower. Now over here, I wanted to add this platform a little bit support. I think support is important. I seen this in many things, and I like the idea of using the roof, turning it around, and once you turn it around, it looks like it's just platforms that are gonna be holding this section in. And I really like the look and the texture of this. So I was like, you know what, I really like this. I really like the way this is looking, and we're gonna do it. Now the little gaps in between, we're gonna do the corner roofing, and we're gonna try to do the same thing. You gotta put it backwards, and that is something that you gotta think about. It's like doing a roof, but you're doing it up backwards, from inside out, basically, if that makes sense. And it took me a moment to get the corner just right, and you're gonna see like one corner doesn't look right, and then I decided that, oh wait a minute, I need to do the full roof in reverse, and then half a roof also backwards, and then do the corners, and it will look really good. But over here, this is when I was trying to do the corner, trying to get to see if this is gonna work, if this is gonna, because it's not like you have a one piece that fills up completely that corner. So you gotta put 1, 2, 3. There's a little gap, but the little gap is fine. I'm okay with the little gap. Because you cannot really fill it up. So it's basically, you can do 1, 2, and one more spot, 3, and kind of fills everything up. You can't put the fourth one. I couldn't figure out, it would never clip in, so you can hide that gap. But it's okay, it's a tiny gap, so you gotta do it 3 times, and it fills up gap really, really well. And yeah, and that's what we're doing on the platform over here. And just adding all of this. Now, as you can see, at first I was doing all this bridge work, elevated, so I can do this, and then I remember that you can fly in the game if you actually type in the command, and you can fly a little bit, and that was really helpful, especially on the other area that I wanted to do all this extra detail work. It really was super helpful. So if you're doing work like this, and at first I was doing it all with bridges and all of this, and it takes longer, but if you can fly, then, you know, make it happen and fly. So over here, what we're doing these columns. In my initial trials, I was doing a lot of the actual columns, but it was not gonna work. You can never get it the same height. It's not an easy thing. I wish they add columns that work in a specific way and leave the other ones the way they work, because we need both. I think in this game we need kind of those two things, right? We need columns that work just like this, that are set, and then you can just go up in a specific way, and then we need the one that we have that you can put it either up or sideways, and you can drag it. And we need both. We truly need both. Don't take away the other one, just add another one, because I love building in this game. I think it's really good. I think it's really good, and I think it has a lot of potential, and I hope the developers don't take too long in the next update and keep adding. We want to keep this game up in front and keep it motivated for a lot of people. So what we're doing here is we're doing the framework on the top, because we want all these big openings. These openings are, in the beginning, my idea is I wanted anybody that was gliding to come in any shape or form, especially in the big squares. But then we're going to adjust that, and we're going to actually make little platforms where people are going to be standing, and then you jump off. But as you can see, we're closing it up. And now we gotta do the roof area right over here, because this is gonna and again another roof on the top. So now we're not going in reverse, we're going normal roof style over here, and it's really cool. One of the great things about this game, again, I will say, is because you can clip things in. I love that it lets you clip. I love that it can overlap in mostly everything. Sometimes there's something that it won't let you do it like that, and it's a little sad, but it's okay. But we can always make it work. But as you can see, we're just doing the roof, making it to the top, and then you do the same thing, but using the smaller pieces in the little square, and then you close it up, and it's looking great. It's looking great. Now on the top, on this design, you don't have to do what I did. You can go with a flat roof. You can go with a more castle style roof if you want. It's gonna be really up to you. What kind of roof system do you want? You don't have to use this. You can actually do the grass, and I did a test with the grass, and I really like it because it felt like things were growing on top of the roof. I wish there was one like the texture that we have right now, and there's like grass growing on it, because it will look really cool, right? Like not just fully grass, but the idea of it, right? But I like it. I like the way this is coming out. And then as you can see, we put in some of the middle pieces, and I fast forward a little bit here. We're finishing the corner, and now we're gonna build the top. Again, you can close it out, you can keep it flat. I still wanted to go a little pointy. It kind of reminds me like the movie, what you call it, The Sword in the Storm, the Disney, the animated movie. You remember the tower, and it's like skinny and pointy, and kind of remind me of that. So that was the idea that I was going for, and I kind of like it. I kind of like the way this actually came out and be. So we're doing a little flying, and we're seeing the tower. Now, I think I could have gone a little higher. So the base on the bottom, I think if I would have gone higher, maybe this top part wouldn't feel as big as it is. I did want the big opening, and that was something that I really wanted. I really wanted this big opening because we're gonna be flying. So I'm doing a lot of trim work on the top over here. I really wanted this to be a little bit more fancy instead of the plain look that I was going for. So I was adding the windows and trying on the bottom. I'm putting a little railing right over here. I can't wait to get more fencing. First of all, I want this fence in different colors. I want it in white, dark wood. I just love that fencing a lot. But as you can see, we're flying around. I'm taking a look, making sure to see if I like everything. I didn't like what I did, so I kind of took it out. We put underneath the window, and we're gonna try something different. It didn't feel right. It didn't have the right feeling. If you liked it, you can keep it. I wasn't a fan. Now, something I didn't like about in the edge, it just looked too flat. So I'm adding the small piece of the roof just to extend the roof just a little more. It is a lot of work. It was very tedious work, but I do feel like it added a little extra layer, and it feels like now it's hanging just a tad. And I really, really like that. And I was like, okay, I like it. So something that I did over here on the top is, okay, I put the same fence on the bottom. So I'm going to put it on the top, see what I feel. And I was like, you know what? I kind of like this. And by doing this, then we're using the little pillar one that you drag and close up the bottom, because it doesn't, I don't want to keep it open like that. It just looks off. So as you can see right here, I'm putting it right there, and it's stretching it and closing it. And we're gonna do all that in all the little pieces of fencing that we just put on the top. And as you can see, we just finished that. I just fast forward it, and we just finished, and we're taking the tower. You see the top. If I had to redo this again and in any other place, I would definitely make the tower on the bottom section. Probably maybe go, I don't know, again, maybe a couple more walls higher, so it looks like whoa, and then the same length on the other one, and then the top. And I think it would make it feel a little more proportional. I don't know. Let me know in the bottom what you think, if it looks proportional or not. So over here, we want to do the extended the bridge. I wanted this bridge to be actually a little longer. Actually, I had to actually back it up and cut it, because I realized that there was no way that I could anchor the end, because we were going to hit the sky. I ran out of land, out of the floating island. I ran out. So we're gonna have to take a couple things shorter, and then I actually had to back up again one more because it wasn't working. But I like this. I like the stone. I like the little railing on the top, because that started making it feel a little more like that medieval style of kind of towers and castles and bridges, and I like it. I like this aspect of it a lot. So we adding the support. I'm a big fan of adding things that look a little more realistic, and that pillar that I was putting here is more of a guide for me to test it, but then I ended up leaving it. But it was more of a guide to make sure that I can actually go all the way down, and if it was kind of gonna hit land, so I can anchor this end of the tower. Now this is gonna be another extension platform. The idea of this here in this floating island is like it could be like a beautiful lookout way, a way to look at your island, way to look out there, way to look at your island on the other side and see what you're building. If you build a village, your home, anything that you build, is a great way and great view to see your island. And that is something that I really personally wanted. I wanted to be able to see my creation and different angles, and I enjoy it. And again, I didn't want another tall tower over here. I didn't want to have like a dual tower scenario. I just wanted a little section when you can stand and kind of look out into the world, into the sky and stuff like that. And I really like the way this came out. Now this part was tricky to get the scenario because I started using the round pieces here, but again we don't have round fencing in the stone, so that's not gonna work. So then I had to actually incorporate a little bit trickiness here. I had to use triangle pieces, I had to use square pieces, just enough in such a way because I want this to curve with the fencing, but you gotta kind of make it match and make it work. So again, see, scenarios like this, again, it's a lot of trial and error. Have patience when you're doing this, because it's just moving pieces, making sure the way they clip, putting this piece here, but then you use another one and just kind of filling those gaps. Doesn't matter, clip it over everything, just making sure it works. But as you can see, we are extending the tower. We're seeing this. I climb up. I'm still not flying, but I'm gonna be flying very, very soon. Trust me. Because one, I remember that I was like, why am I building all these stairs when I could have fly and made things so much quicker? But again, we're doing the same thing that we did on the very top. We're adding like, we want to add some foundation down here. We're adding the little pillars. We're going to add some roof on the bottom. We're going to extend the tower, as you can see right over here. We're going around. Again, we're in the manual mode, so we can actually turn it because the automatic attachment is just attaching in a particular way. So we had to do a manual. And then we're going to go down. We're going to go down as low as we can. And you're just going to see it. And we're gonna fast forward here very soon, and we're gonna get to the bottom, and on the bottom we're gonna add again the roofing in the other way, because part of the tower actually landed on the land, but I still miscalculated, mistakes. But I didn't want to cut it any shorter because then there was no point for the bridge. So what I decided to do is kind of use the roofing idea that we did on the top, make it backward and make it feel like it's embedded into the stone, and that is where it's getting the support. And I kind of like it. I just feel like it's good. The tower is feeling great. I think it's getting that shape that I really wanted. Now again, we adding the roofs backwards are right over here, so you only see the wood. And I think it looks really great. I almost thought of leaving the underneath like that and not build it because I like the way the wood look. It looks really good. But I ended up, once I was flying, then I ended up sealing it. Now originally, one of the reasons I was like, I'm gonna leave it like this because that way I don't have to try to close it up. But now this little piece item right here, I really love. This is what I'm talking about right here. This is a great little piece that comes in the stone fencing area, right? But you can use it as the pillar. This is what we need, but we need it in the other section that works just like this. That way you can always get the same height when you want to. Keep the other one that we can make the lengths that we want for specific things. But I want this particular style when it comes to do like any of the other pillars that we have, but we only have this in this particular stone one. So, but this is part of my idea that I really wanted. This is why I wanted this style of tower, that it was more in shape like this, because to do this little island work, it was not going to work in a round one. It was going to be a little bit harder. I couldn't figure out, I didn't like the way it looked. So when I decided to go in this direction, it looked really good. And then we were matching it with the fencing on top. So it worked out really excellent. and I really loved it. So now something that we're gonna do here that is a very typical castle thing to do is wrapping around a staircasing. You can go all the way straight, you can wrap it up, you can go in a spiral way. Decide whichever way stair system that you would like to do. A lot of people like to wrap it up around towers. It seems like it's very popular thing to do. And I was getting opinions, and they're like, yeah, wrap it around, and I was like, okay, let's wrap it around. Now with the pieces that we have, I could never make the curvy one work. I just don't know, and I don't like the way it looks. It just, I tried to go up, I tried to go down, I tried to attach it. I could never make it work. I just don't know. So because I could never make it work, so I had to come up with the next best thing, and is adding all these extra pieces here and flooring and all of this, and then use the fencing that we did for the bridge. Now you use it over here and attach it and create our own curve that are a little more sharp. Now it looks good. I just don't know why I could never make the curved one work, because it just could never attach the way that I want to. It always looked off and not good. I didn't want that. I want this to look good. So maybe I need to practice more, maybe, but trust me that I was trying my hardest. But as you can see, we're gonna go through the rocks over here. I really like this. At first, when I got there, I was like, oh man, this is not gonna work. I may not like this, but you know what I ended up doing is I ended up liking it, and I ended up like tweaking it and making it work. Over here, one of the most important thing is you want to enclose and add foundation. This is going to increase your tower, and it's going to give it this bolder, different look. It's going to look really cool. Again, I could have done a whole different thing and not go in this direction, especially because you see the wall is going it's going through the ladder. But what I decided was just make an opening and walk through the wall like there is an actual area. Now something that I didn't think of, and it was during the editing process, like, man, I could have done maybe an official door, but I don't know, because it was kind of sideways. So but you're gonna see, like you see right now, everything is enclosed. And because at first I enclosed, and I was like, you know what, maybe I just gotta move the stairs. But I was like, you know what if I open it up and make it feel, I want to work on this a little bit more. We probably do it on a live stream. There's a couple little details, things that I didn't get to do at the end, especially inside that gap. I want to cover a couple more things. It's one of those things, at some point you're like, you can't think anymore and you're ready to get it out, and you need time, you need a couple of days to just kind of like decompress and take in the build, and then keep adding more of that detail work. So but as you can see, we're gonna go all around. So what I decided is, in the sections where I had the floor pieces, those are the sections that I kind of wanna just kind of enclose. Now over here you see there's a little hanging, so I like the idea so much within the tower. We're gonna do it over here, and again, it just makes it feel like things are embedded and there's this support system that's holding, and this is how they manage to do this. And again, the staircasing part, we're gonna leave it. There's no wall, we're not gonna hide it. I like the look of it, I really do. I feel like the stairs could be like embedded into the wall or something like that, and we had like this floating section of stairs, and then the foundation that is holding everything, and then floating stair, and then foundation again. And that's the route that I decided to go when I did this. Again, the fun part about this is that you can go in the staircase system any way you want. You want to go crazy, you want to go straight, you want to go spiral. Pick and choose the style that you would like, and there is no wrong. You want to make it longer, you want to make it shorter, you know, maybe you don't want this to go up, and maybe you only want it to come from the cliff into the tower. It really is going to be up to you, and have fun with it, and let me know what you ended up doing. I hope that you have a lot of fun creating this. Now as you can see over here, we are adding the fencing in this section here, and again, I could not make the round pieces work, so it's like, okay, I can't make that work, so we're gonna work over here. Over here, I could never make this piece work, and it was gonna look off. So what I decided to do is 2 different pieces, and that actually worked pretty well. And you just gotta get it in the right way and clip everything in. That is one of the advantages of this game. I'm so thankful. Again, not everything right away clips in. keep playing with it, keep moving things, especially in manual mode will save you a lot of work, because sometimes in automatic things don't want to work, but when you do a manual and you move in a specific direction, then everything works very, very nicely. Over here, this is one of those scenarios. Again, manual made it work, automatic will not make it work. So we adding this fencing here, and I like this. I like the embedded on the rock. I like the spacing, and I like this feel of everything. And as you can see, we've been flying here for a moment. I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but we've been flying, and it does make the decoration process in these sections a little bit easier. I hope that the flying comes in a little more natural and they add it in such a way. But as you can see, we added all the extra stone in all this side and around the stair. Once again, we added those little pillars to make it feel and stand out. It takes away the flatness of the building to me, and it gives us this awesome character build and feel to it. So over here, this is why I made it this high, because we wanted to make it to this cliff, because I want this to connect to the other build that we're doing. That it's gonna be fun connecting all these pieces that we're building and making this island work together. So that is again something that I'm trying to do right over here. So even though if I wanted this tower to go higher, like I mentioned earlier, in a way, then I either gotta do another long ramp to go up or not at all. So so we gotta keep it this high for now, but keep that in mind. If you're building in a loft and you're trying to do this tower, you want to connect it to a specific cliff, make sure the height and all that you're gonna be happy with it. Something over here that we wanted to do, wanted to add some light. I got this high roofing over here, so I found like these hanging lamps. I really like this. Then the lighting here is really good, so I really like the atmosphere, and we just put it in every single corner of the corner pieces. We're gonna put one very high in the top as well to bring a little bit illumination here, and then in all these diamond shaped sections here, I added this little border, and I thought going around that looks great. We're gonna add this little pillar, kind of like a little lighthouse or something like that. It's just kind of like a little beacon for the tower, and as you can see, that looks really great. And now we're gonna add these little lamps over here, and then we get to the portion that the build is gonna be done. You know, I took some time after the initial build over here, and I did a little decorating. We added vines, we added the 2 type of vines all around, we added the purple, and then we're gonna give you the walkthrough. And I think I like the feel. I like the way everything came out. These are the platforms that I added it, and I thought I was recording. I'm so sorry, but this platform over here is basically an extended. You just kind of extend the little platform and you do the little roofing underneath it. But as you can see, this is the tower. This is the tower over here underneath the platform that I was talking about, where you take off. Right there, I added like a little hanging lanterns on the outside. I thought that looked great. And as you can see, we added like all this vine, because part of the idea here that this vines, this is something I need to do on my other build, is I wanted to feel like it is nature. This place has been here for a while. The airship has crash landed here for a while, and I want nature to feel like has been growing and taking over, but in a beautiful way, right? In a very beautiful way. So we added some of the green, some of the accent of the purple in specific areas, more like the purple is literally like more decoration, and I wanted the vine to feel like it's actually growing and not just very structural, but making it curve and all of that. And I want to say thank you to Power for training me to do vines very well, right? Because we've been doing a lot of vine work over there. So then we do it here. So we're going through the opening over here. Really love the feel over here. I like when you look up and you see the other bridge leading to the cliff, and then you see all the vines in different areas. Again, all of this is little detail work that is going to be subjective. You may like it, you may want to keep it more clean, you may want to really be overgrown. There is so many little things that you may want to do when it comes to this build. Again, I'm showing you like how everything could look depending how much you wanted to do. I really like the staircasing. I love to get over here. I love seeing the bridge right over here. You see the purple looks really good. We got more of the vines, and I put the thicker vine in the very hard corners and edges and the round part, because I feel like there is growing a lot, and then on the wall it's more like the climbing one. Again, that's the airship. We'll be building all of that on stream. So that airship is something that we've been doing on stream, and of course the tower I did it off stream. But as you can see over there, all of this looks really nice. I really really like, and I can't wait for the roadmap. I need them to keep adding more stuff because I want to keep having fun. Adding more of the greenery is clipping over here. This is the bridge that is going to be connecting from the tower to the airship that crash landed here and now is embedded into the island. And then again, another lamp right over here. We added some windows. We're gonna go up right over here. This takes you to the halfway point. It's really hard to know because of the stairs, so it's like right at the halfway mark. And then we're gonna get here. I put that little stone there. Feels more like a beacon. People can land right here, or they can land on the very top of the platform. On the top of the platform, you see it's a little more heavy when it comes to the greenery. I just felt like it needed that, like it's growing from on the bottom and going down. I thought that looks great. I love the view over here. I can see all my bills. I can see the sky. I can see what's coming. If you're traveling, if you're doing your normal gameplay, I think it's really great. Right over here, that is the platform that is extended, basically to square, round shape it, and you're good to go. You're good to fly, right? So we're gonna go up the stairs right over here. And as you can see, as we go in the stairs, you see some lamps hanging. And then we get to the top. And right over here, these are all for your gliders right here. So this is the takeoff area. I wish we had gates because it would have been great for that little fencing. But as you can see, I brought the fence in one more in. And then I extended the platform from the edge. So before the fence was on the edge. And now we got the big opening. And you can fly. And you can land and looks great. The top of the roof, I haven't changed it from what you saw earlier. I just added all these gliders mechanics here, and then you get to your platform, and then you can fly and you can take off. And this is where the people, you know, it's a great way to fly off your island and fly into your island. You land right here, you take off your glider, you put it back where it belongs, and then you take the steps and then you go back home. And that is the story that I'm trying to tell when it comes to this tower in my own way. So imagine you flying in right here, you getting home, you made it to the island, you're like, yes, I'm home. And then you can land on the platforms, right? And that is something to me that is important. We're flying a little around here so you can kind of feel the feel of the tower, and I love it. I really like the way this has come out. I think it's shaped up very well. Then you land right here and you're home. Take off your glider, put it back on the rack. It'd be cool if you actually could do that, right? And then it shows there. And then there is the airship that we're building on stream. And then yeah, and this is the tower. This is the build. I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that this inspires you to build more in Aloft, to come up with new ideas. I hope that you do amazing things. I hope that you enjoy it. And yeah, I really had a great time building in Aloft, and I can't wait for future updates. And guys, enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you want to see more videos, more build videos, more live stream, and I'll see you all on the next one. All right, guys. See you later. Bye.